Hi!
Good morning.
Hello.
Or good evening.
And welcome back to
The 1313 Podcast.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Jackson.
And we're your mediocre Star Wars podcast.
Woohoo!
I want to start off today's episode but with a huge thank you to Out of the Basement. Their shout out yesterday really boosted us quite a bit. We have a lot of new viewers, a lot of new subs. And to those we say, hello, welcome back.
And thank you to all of our new viewers for all the support you guys gave us, because that was just awesome. We were just, our phones were like going crazy and we were texting each other all day long. Just like, oh my gosh, like people are commenting, like people are doing this and that and the other. So like it was just really cool to have that kind of support.
And shout out to the first person that gave us our first dislike.
Woo!
I like saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, somebody didn't like it.
That's when you know you made it, is when someone dislikes your video.
I thought that was hilarious.
That was pretty funny. But yeah, Tom and I were at work when a lot of this was happening, when our dad actually told us, because our dad is on the Out of the Basement Discord. I haven't used Discord, which is kind of a surprise because everybody who I know uses it. I should. But
all gamers
told us about when Justin shared the thing on Discord, and like literally right from there, like me and Tom's phones were just like going off, like brand new sub, brand new comment. We're like, oh my gosh, we got a new sub, or oh my gosh, there's a comment now. So we cannot be more thankful for that. That was literally amazing.
I was checking the YouTube analytics like all day, just like.
Yeah, I mean, the first day that we post a video, I always kind of check it every hour on the hour, and then after that, I kind of just check it morning and night.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just, the support is awesome, and we're just going to continue to bring you guys some great weekly Star Wars content.
To the best of our ability.
Indeed. So, I think we have one other thing to talk about before we get into today's big topic.
Sure thing.
So last week, we had these two, these are the two of the new Star Wars Build-A-Bears. We have the Lothcat that Jackson's holding, and the Jawa.
Shut up. Anyway.
And so last week we said that anyone could comment and pick names for these two Build-A-Bears, and then we would pick our favorites and name them. So we have our winners for the names. So the Jawa.
The Jawa will be named. Drumroll, please.
No, don't drumroll.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt.
The Jawa will be named Peter.
Woo!
Peter
Stinky Pete.
Good thing nobody else knows that reference.
It's a Toy Story reference. Stinky Pete,
really?
Prospector Pete.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jawa is named Peter.
Woohoo!
Woo.
And then the Lothcat will be named...
Dylan! So Dylan is actually the name that Justin from Out of the Basement picked out, because on his stream last Sunday,
Yes.
he was talking about our podcast a little bit, and he called one of us Dylan.
He called Jacob
called me
Dylan
Dylan.
specifically.
Because he was like, I think there's two brothers. There's Jackson and I think Dylan. And I was like, huh?
Yeah, we were at work, so I couldn't tune into the stream, and that's why like I popped in at the beginning and I commented for the page. And then when I got home, my dad was telling me about it, and so I ended up watching the stream afterwards, and I saw that. And then Justin ended up texting me later and was all like, I think I called one of you guys Dylan, but that's definitely not your name, so I'm really sorry. It was really funny though. We got a kick out of it.
So, welcome to the podcast, Peter and Dylan.
And Peter and Dylan will be in probably different parts of the background every week.
We might do an Elf on the Shelf type beat where they just kind of teleport all around.
Aw, we could dress them up for the holidays. And we could...
Stop.
We could
do that.
I could feed them Cheerios in the morning. Okay.
Now you're acting like my mom with our dog.
And with that, I think we're done with this segment of the podcast.
So, there's this little show that's been coming out once a week called The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
He has a shirt for it too.
I do. The Filler Batch.
Bro.
I took one look at like a YouTube comment section about the Bad Batch, and then all the comments, too bad it's all filler. Too bad. I was like, I can't live here anymore.
The loud minority of the Star Wars fandom.
I will never live another second among these animals.
So, this episode blew me away.
Yes.
Episode 14, War-Mantle. in reference to Project War-Mantle, as was talked about earlier in the season
Spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen the episode, we are going to spoil the McDougans out of
If
it.
you haven't seen The Bad Batch episode 14, go watch it and then come back. Because this episode, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to dive into.
Yeah. I think the funny part for me was that I think I mentioned this on a previous episode, but I knew that this episode was going to be titled War-Mantle, and I knew the episode before that was like Infestation. And so a lot of the stuff that I saw was like, oh, Infestation could be like the worms that we saw in Geonosis, or a bunch of other stuff. So when last week's episode sucked really bad and everybody hated it, I knew what this episode was going to be called. I was like, it's going to be good. So my dad and my brother both knew, but I didn't tell Tom because he didn't want to know, which is fair.
With The Mandalorian, I always liked to know the titles earlier than they came out.
I agree with that.
But for this show, for some reason, I don't. And I think it's because I'm dreading what is going to happen at the end of the season. There's going to be a lot of sadness.
Well, that's the other thing, too, with the spoilers for the titles. Every single title for every episode of The Bad Batch has been revealed, except the last two. The last two have not been leaked at all.
Uh-oh.
So that means it's going to be a surprise.
So I watched the episode again last night, very late, after I got out of work. I was like dozing off, and I was like, you know what? I need to watch this episode and really just... I took notes in order of how things happened.
Okay.
So our episode opens on a new Star Wars planet called Darrow. Darrow reminds me of that planet from the old cinematic trailers for the KOTOR games.
Yes, I totally know what you mean.
Where the Old Republic troopers are fighting against the Sith. It really reminded me of that.
I agree.
And it's in the Outer Rim.
Yes.
So we know in Star Wars nothing really happens in the Outer Rim. So this is interesting as well. And then a couple things that I liked. Yeah, the Tusken dogs. It's good to see the Massifs. It's good to see those again. I always like seeing them. I like how much character they got in The Mandalorian. They're like these cute little puppies.
Yeah. The point that I brought up to yesterday at work as well was that the only other time that we have seen those present before in the Clone Wars was with Fox's battalion with the Coruscant Guard when they were hunting Ahsoka, and then with Wolfpack. So, like, at the beginning of the episode when it had the dogs, I was just like, is this going to be Wolf? Is it going to be Wolf? And then it was a dude with, like, hair essentially slicked back. But I was just like, that isn't Wolf. But
I knew it was Gregor right out the gate because they had the commando armor on. I knew it was Gregor.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. I was kind of blind to that until he was like, the name's Greg, and I was like, oh, I probably could have realized it when they said his CT number, but I don't remember that.
CC number. I was excited to see Gregor.
Yes, very much.
We're gonna have to see Wolf in one of these episodes then.
It's gonna happen in season 2.
No. So we'll discuss that at the end. Between if there will be a season 1 or 2.
So, it was cool to see the plain commando armor, the plain white. That is first seen in Battlefront 2 in canon, to my knowledge, right?
Whoop, whoop.
What?
Incoming Black Series figure.
Oh, Target exclusive. Target exclusive.
It's already in the system.
This episode has a lot of exclusive figures coming.
Oh,
yes.
A lot of them. You heard it here
gold
first.
mine.
Oh my gosh.
So, I didn't realize that you could stun just somebody's leg.
Yeah,
Star
I didn't
Wars.
realize
When
that
his
too.
leg got stunned, I was like, you can just... Maybe it's the commando armor.
Maybe it's
that-
just he a strong boy and he was fighting through it.
Yeah.
But it
That
also, when it hit him, it hit his... Because you know like how the stun blast essentially, like the blue aura, like highlights an entire person's silhouette? It only highlighted his leg, and I was like, huh?
It might be... Because, I mean, later in the episode, when... I'm not going to say it yet, but when that other commando gets stunned, he got stunned like 8 times before he went down.
I know, I was like...
No,
that
man got shot.
No, he got stunned.
He got stunned, Jacob. They had their blasters on stun the entire episode.
Except for Wrecker. So I noticed, like, then when we cut to the Bad Batch after Gregor gets captured, Omega is mimicking Hunter. And she's always, throughout the show, she's always been mimicking people. And I think that she has, like, the ability to learn really, really quickly and pick up on things, like a visual learner type thing.
She's like the taskmaster of the Star Wars universe.
She literally could be.
Yeah.
So Rex, when he contacts them, he seems really tied up in something. And my hypothesis is that he's saving either Hauser and his men or Wolf.
Yes.
One of the two. That's what I think. Because obviously he's tied up in some sort of like firefight or something. It's not like he's just trying to keep a low profile.
Because he's not doing a good job at it.
No. He literally wears a cloak over a full suit of clone armor.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Camino.
Yeah.
And Rampart says to Crosshair, quote, every viable clone mobilized. I'm wondering, like, so they're rounding up every, like, clone that is, in my opinion, viable clone would mean, like, ready for battle.
Mm-hmm.
What are they planning to do with the clones? There's something going on.
I don't know, because I know the big thing that I was also talking to you at work yesterday was that, like, sure, in Rebels, when we see Rex captured by the Empire, the Imperial officer states that the clone army was deemed decommissioned by the Emperor. So maybe we can see that in this still. Granted, I feel like decommissioned is going to be the word that they'll use for, like, if there's, like, random clones throughout
For
the
kicked
galaxy.
off the cliff.
Yeah, I think they're just
I
gonna
think
take
they'll
all the.
kill a bunch, but like
Well, they're just gonna take him to the large galaxy paper shredder and just.
that very well could happen.
But then again, in Legends, this is not canon.
Yes.
But Vader keeps the 501st for a long time in Legends. But we don't know if that's the case here.
Well, yeah, because then in canon, the Vader controls the 501st Stormtrooper Legion.
Yes, true.
Keeps the name, which it's like I feel like any educated person in Star Wars could very easily connect the dots. It's like, why does Anakin control the 501st Republic, and then Vader's the 501st Stormtrooper? Where did Anakin go? Because everybody thought he died at the temple. I don't know. We know it, but nobody else knows it, so.
Dramatic irony.
Yeah. When Nala Se is walking with all those clone cadets, and he's asking if he'll become a soldier, it made me so sad, because I was like, this guy's dead. This kid doesn't even know that his life is over. Like,
Bro,
it's
yeah.
just so sad.
That made me so upset.
Am I gonna be a
too.
soldier? No.
Yes, that's what you were trained. I was like, no.
It's like, no, he's gonna die. He won't be a clone.
My man CT-4509, he's gonna die. The Kaminoans plan to dip from the Empire.
Yes.
They are out. Their contracts got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So the Emperor's moving very quickly with the transition from the Republic to the Empire.
Yes. I mean, we only see Hauser kind of rebel, but there very well could be other clones rebelling and defecting, and so that's why he's immediately like, okay, let's do all this. But at the same time, what honestly surprised me was the fact that Project War-Mantle has already been going on for quite some time already, because I thought it was going to take place with Crosshair training, or like helping to train, I should say, the next generation of like stormtroopers. But obviously from what we saw from this episode, that isn't the case, and it's been going on in the Outer Rim so that people don't know about it.
Yes.
It's like the Sith troopers on Exegol.
Yes.
Stay there, you just don't know about it.
So then we cut back to Darrow, and they discover the Imperial base, which totally looks like the Death Star in the inside, which was very intentional.
Yes.
100%.
And they were playing the music that plays on the Death Star episode.
The Death Star escape music. That was like, for some reason, that hit some real nostalgia for me.
That was
Reminded me
cool.
of playing Lego Star Wars.
That's what it reminded me of. Lego Star Wars and the Death Star levels.
That was fun.
Then there was one of my favorite parts of the episode, whether we call it Phase 2.5, Phase 3.
I'm calling it Phase 1 Stormtroopers.
That
agree.
armor looks awesome.
And it's the concept armor for the Stormtroopers.
It is.
That's
Raffle
it.
core, yeah. Another store exclusive. Another store exclusive.
It's already in the system. It's already in the system.
Wow, CVS exclusive. Wow.
No, dude,
I'm
if they
so
did a CVS
excited.
figure.
Whoa, Country Fair exclusive.
Whoa, AustraliaCon. AustraliaCon only. You can only go to Australia for this one.
North Pole Con. You can only get it.
If you're on the nice list, you get this one from Santa. All right. Anyway.
That was really, really cool. I honestly prefer that more than, obviously, current Stormtrooper armor.
It was neat. It like, you can see how it's kind of like a mix between... I mean, like, for me, though, I saw some First Order in that
I was
armor
gonna say,
too.
talk about
Especially
that.
in the back of the helmet. Like the First Order helmets have that nice black stripe that goes along the back of the helmet, and it's got that nice curve. And if you look at the back of this helmet right here, this First Order helmet, for audio listeners, there's a black stripe that goes along the back of the First Order helmet. So for me, that is indicative of, the Emperor having that long-term plan there. Mm-hmm. And these helmets do look almost like a mix of Clone Trooper, Stormtrooper, and First Order to me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's more First Order just because of how smooth and kind of rounded it is. And it's also just more normal Stormtroopers just because it's kind of like the Phase 1 variant of it, and it's Clone Trooper still because they're still working with that.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, another thing that I liked was when Tech and Echo are reading the personnel of the facility.
Mm-hmm.
There are 50 clone commandos and 1,000 conscripted soldiers, which I thought was really interesting. TK soldiers.
Yeah, I was like,
so that's why I say Stormtrooper, not Phase 3 clone, because it's a completely different system.
And they're all conscripted troopers. I'm gonna be right back because these dogs are trying to burst down our door.
And we don't want our audio and video listeners hearing scratching the entire
We had an
episode.
accident with the dogs
Oi,
a couple weeks ago.
stop it. Stop it.
You can if you want. Da-da-da, the man behind the camera leaves. The man behind the
The
curtain.
man behind the curtain!
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Oh my gosh, that was Kane! That was Kane the Conqueror, everybody!
I really think at this point, it's just a staple of this podcast to have some sort of
Mishap.
impromptu, just get up and go,
I know.
Something always happens.
I've done
never
it
be
twice,
perfect.
it's...
It's happened quite a couple times on this podcast.
Yep.
So, I was I laughed way too hard when Gregor called that stormtrooper a plebe.
Yeah,
When he
that
called
was
him
funny.
a plebe, I just lost it. It was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Gregor in this episode. You can definitely tell he got knocked up pretty bad from that explosion.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of crazy. He's
Yeah.
not quite as crazy as he is in Rebels, but I feel like that just comes with age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also comes with eating all that chupa or whatever it was.
Chupa, yeah?
Yeah.
Was it?
Plebe is also a rank.
Plebe is a rank?
Yeah, so it's okay, so this specifically regards to the military academies for cadets. So if you're a first year, say at the Army Academy specifically, you're a plebe, and everybody calls you a plebe.
Huh.
Because I know it's plebe, I forget the name for the second year, a junior's a cow, and then it's plebe, cow, softy, I forget the rest because I don't care.
Big army guy, huh?
Yep, kind of the job.
So, the command, it's now canon. This was always Legends material. It is now canon that commandos trained conscripts
Yes.
to make the transition into the Empire.
Makes sense.
Because
I
they're
thought-
the best of the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A key detail that I thought was good too is the fact when they were escaping as well, when Gregor said, "Yeah, we taught him. We didn't teach him everything," which kind of shows.
We didn't teach you everything.
Well, yeah, which is smart, but at the same time helps to cripple the new Empire a little bit.
It also kind of explains why some of the stormtroopers are pretty bad shots and why they aren't the most, they don't seem like the most well trained. Also, the Empire is still very new, so in this episode, a lot of the conscripts probably have only been on for a month, maybe. You know what I mean? So they haven't been training for all that long.
Exactly.
Then we see who I believe to be Clone Commando Scorch.
It is him. Yes.
He has a different backpack than he does in the Clone Wars. He just has, in this episode, he just has the regular Commando backpack.
Mm-hmm.
But he was kicking some butt, dude.
Yeah, he almost took him out.
Yeah, dude, on his own. That was awesome to see. So again, this begs the question for me, though. Why do some clones keep their markings after the transition to the Empire, and then, almost all of the other clones don't? We've only seen Hauser, the Coruscant Guard, the Camino Security, and now Scorch. Those are the only Imperials that we've seen with their markings from the Republic.
Because they're significant characters.
That's probably why.
That's
honestly.
so. Coruscant Guard has to stay red because right behind Jacob whenever they also develop in a stormtrooper armor, the Coruscant Guard still retains the same design. It's literally just
That's
a
not canon.
stormtrooper.
That's not canonical.
Wait,
This is-
isn't-
This
No.
Battlefront figure.
Oh. Wait, if it's from Battlefront, then it is.
Battlefront 1.
Battlefront 1 isn't considered canon. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
Really?
Yeah, Battlefront 1 2015 isn't considered canon.
That's weird. Okay, never mind. But the
Your points is gone.
But-
but the Camino stuff is still my point. Is because it's a Camino person, so they have to have those markings.
Right. That was also immediately after
Mm-hmm.
the Republic turned into the Empire.
Exactly.
Anyways, so then we see Gonky coming in clutch when they're
Yep.
making the escape. It was cool to see a Gonk droid finally have a function.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
said,
exactly.
hey, I brought my battery pack with me. You can charge your phone.
Makes me want to play as Super Gonk in Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. And then Hunter gets captured. That was the big thing. I thought for sure they were gonna all escape.
Mm-hmm.
I know, because when Omega was basically like yelling, like, "Oh, like we need to get Hunter, like order them to come back," I was like, "Oh, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back. Hunter's gonna be fine, you know." And then they just boom hyperspace, and I was like, "So what happened to getting Hunter, everybody? You know, we're just not gonna do that now."
Okay, so Hunter though is very concerned about the team.
Yes.
Hunter, and this has been throughout the entire season. Hunter is concerned about. That's been his message. He wants to keep his people safe. He wants to keep his squad, his family safe.
Yes.
And in this situation, keeping them safe means them letting him go.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a face-off with Crosshair. Now, I have an interesting theory.
Bubble brains.
I think that Crosshair has a malfunctioning chip still. Here's why. The inhibitor chip is on the right side of a clone's head. Crosshair's scars are on the right side of his head, right around where his inhibitor chip is. I think that blast on Braca
Mm-hmm.
from the engine of the Venator damaged his chip. And I think that Hunter's going to be able to reason with him in some fashion. However, I still think that Hunter is going to get a new inhibitor chip implanted
Yep.
into him, and he is going to be having to fight the Bad Batch.
He's gonna have to fight Omega and everybody else, and it's gonna be really heart wrenching and sad.
But it's not going to be the end.
Because now they go see Rex.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty... I can almost guarantee that Rex has not a regiment, like not a huge number, but Rex has definitely been finding clones throughout the galaxy who
Yes.
have, deserted or have malfunctioning inhibitor chips. I think, personally, we're going to see Hauser and his men. I think we're going to see Wolf. I think we're going to see, a bunch of other clones that Rex was able to get back.
Mm-hmm.
What if we see Cody in the last episode?
I think we'll see Cody in season 2 of the Bad Batch, because there will be a season 2.
There will not be a season 2.
I'm on season 2, gang. And
I'm on the season 2 hype train.
Seriously?
my reasoning behind it is because the animation quality of this final arc did not go up. Because that's what
True.
they did with Clone
But
Wars.
that's what they could do with the last two.
But this is all one arc, Jackson.
I get that it's an entire arc. The animation quality could go up for these last 2 episodes, because why have all the names been leaked for every episode except the last 2?
Because I think that there's too much ground to cover in just 2 episodes. I think that...
But we'll know once we click on Disney Plus next week, and the next episode's an hour long.
I don't know. I think personally, there's so much more they could do with this show. There are so many big bads, so many villains, so many more... Because the theme of this show has really been showing characters from the Clone Wars and now Rebels, and showing how they get to where they are in their... after the Republic falls.
I definitely see what you mean, but I feel like the story has progressed comfortably where they could end it.
Well, it's all just filler anyway.
Bro.
The show may have been just the first episode, because everything else has been filler.
But at any rate. But essentially, what I mean is that they've progressed with the story enough comfortably that I feel like they can end it, and there can still be characters that we have questions about that will appear in other Star Wars properties. So that happens with literally everything else. If you see a character pop up once, it won't be the end of them. They'll pop up somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because they don't just introduce a character most of the time and then have them just stay there.
So
Yeah.
what if Hunter, if there is a season 2, what if they aren't able to save Hunter and he remains like a big bad into season 2?
What if there's an Imperial Hunter?
Star
Not
Wars
figure?
Black Series exclusive.
No.
Black Series
Black
exclusive.
Series exclusive.
Black Series exclusive to grocery store. Yeah.
Tops exclusive.
Tops. Giant Eagle exclusive. Sportsman's Warehouse exclusive.
If
You
you
can only
buy
find it in the
select-
fishing section.
If you buy select boxes of Honey Nut Cheerios,
You might get
you can
one piece of him.
you can
at
get a
a time.
chance to win one leg of Imperial Hunter. And you have to win 5 times to win everything.
Goodness.
It's like a game of Hangman, but with cereal.
Dude, Hasbro, hire us.
We got you.
Nice.
We got you. We'll make everything exclusives. Just forget
Yeah, we'll
common
make-
waves.
We'll make
common
everything
releases.
exclusive.
Everything exclusive. Forget it.
The one thing that Jacob showed me
Let the
yesterday
best
was a dude banging on like a person's door. It said like me at 2 a.m. banging on Dave Filoni's door after he Rogue One's the entire Bad Batch.
It was like a monster standing at the door. He's going, ah!
I'm
banging
actually
his
fully
head.
prepared to cry on the season finale.
Yeah.
Where there'll be tears on the 13
No,
podcast.
I'm not prepared because I watched this last episode and just watching that little clone cadet made me so like just hopeless inside. I was like, because in the end, like for the clones, it's not gonna end well. It won't. Like I just know it. Like
Well, you see.
I don't know about that. They're gonna all go to Batu and they're all gonna show up at Galaxy's Edge.
That would be cool though.
I was like, what if Omega hits her head and finds out that she's force sensitive, and they don't want to deal with her, so they drop her on a small desert planet known as Jakku, and retcon.
I really love the Bad Batch.
Yes.
I think that this show as a whole is definitely, like, if I were to put it on a tier list, it's like A or B tier. Probably A.
S.
Not S yet.
Oh, that shit.
It's not up there with episode 4 and the Clone Wars. Or episode 3.
But that's okay because we.
But that's
we're not talking
okay
about
because
that
everything Star Wars is just filler. The entirety of episode 3 is filler. You know. Just get straight to the point. Just
Yeah.
the whole 9 movies of the Skywalker saga should have just been one movie.
No, it should have just been like one scene.
Right.
We don't need to know what happens in between.
We don't,
Y'all
no.
do
We
it
just
too
want the
much.
beginning and we want the ending.
Character development?
What the heck is that?
No, I don't like character development.
I've never heard
I
of
like
that.
big flashy fight scenes.
And
And
that's
I
it.
like the characters to not have any character at all. Except that they just want to kill everybody.
If you want that, you should watch John Wick.
Having a conscience in Star Wars? No.
What?
See,
You know the show about family? No.
No.
See, something I actually kind of want to bring up is one of the comments that I was going through. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, but it was a dude commenting as well how like he experienced like what we talked about with Justin with just being so negative about Star Wars and just like going into that and just in the end being all like, why am I letting all these people ruin Star Wars for me? Like, I love this. Yeah, I might not like it the best, but there's still so much more.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was kind of cool for me to read, especially with the fact that it was just all like, well, yeah, you can just be positive about it. Not everything needs to be negative, you know?
We like to joke about the negativity.
Yes, we joke about it.
We like to make fun of the negativity.
We joke.
Because it's cringe.
Cringe.
It's alright. Like, I completely understand criticizing something. Like we all talked about just last week. We were not all that crazy about last week's episode of the Bad Batch.
Exactly.
But
Doesn't mean that we have to hate on the entire show.
it
because
just
of
means that I don't have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I already did.
You did
Yeah.
watch it again?
Well,
Oh,
I watched
yeah.
it again Thursday night because that's my tradition. Is that we watch the new Bad Batch episode when it comes out, and then I watch it Thursday night with my dad right before the next one. And I think my dad was on his phone for a part of it too, and then he left to go do something in the kitchen to probably get food. But I was just like, dang, you really left me here to watch this episode by myself.
Infested.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Bad Batch though. I think
Yes.
that my connection with it comes from how connected I was to the clone troopers in the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
When I was like 8 years old, 9 years old, and the Clone Wars was coming out, I would get upset when every like nameless, faceless clone died.
Yes, same.
Like,
Tommy
I
cried
totally
when that
agree.
one dude punched the droid in the movie. It was like, ah!
I mean, like, seriously though, like that was my like, I don't know why I was so connected to them, but I was.
Mhm.
And I think that's where my strong connection to this show comes from, is as a child growing up, I was so connected with the clone troopers.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see them go through all this struggle, it just makes it such a good show for me.
I agree.
You're breaking my heart.
You're breaking my heart. And now I break your neck. Anakin Skywalker. So we have Black Series news.
Oh, Black Series news
You
already?
want to go about that before Jacob goes?
whoa.
Yeah.
You want to let Jacob
Yeah.
do his thing?
No,
Because
we'll just glaze over. There's not that much to talk about with the
No,
Black
this is-
Series.
This is a little quick segment. Today's podcast is partially dressed by Heroes and Villains Co. They just
Yes.
came out with a whole new Captain Rex line of clothing.
I'm not
With
wearing
the
it. This is from the
501st.
Shop Disney, so don't look at this.
Very nice hoodie, has a lot of details. The whole line's based around the 501st Legion Captain Rex. I'd highly recommend it. Their designs are super cool. Check them out.
Absolutely.
I missed out on the hoodie.
Yes,
I
they have.
wanted to get the hoodie, but they didn't have it in my size. But they do have it in like other sizes. They just
Yes.
don't have it in large and extra large last time I looked.
And the back of this one's the
Yeah,
same.
and the cool part as well, Heroes versus Villains picks up a ton of the different stuff from Star Wars. So they have Bad Batch merch, which was out like quite a while before Bad Batch even came out. But then they have like Jedi and Sith and Imperial stuff as well.
They have
They're-
like a whole line based around like visiting planets, like it's a tourist attraction.
Exactly.
Like Tatooine and Hoth.
Their stuff is very, very nice too. We both have one of the hats, and our dad has a ton of the Bad Batch stuff too. But the material is really good quality as well, and it's a good Star Wars product, because that's my problem, is that you have stores like Hot Topic that literally screenshot an image from like the Clone Wars or a property, and then they just smack it on a t-shirt in a low res form. Because my dad has a t-shirt from the Clone Wars Season 7, and it's just random low res images of helmets of like a Mandalorian, Rex, a 332nd Trooper, 2 people from the Bad Batch. It's like, come on, it's cool, but it's just like,
Come
people
on,
don't put an
cuz.
effort when it
Come
comes
on,
to
man.
merch, and I want to rep Star Wars and look cool doing it.
I my wardrobe consists of solid color shirts and jeans and khakis and Star Wars graphic tees.
Yes.
And hoodies. Star Wars graphic tee hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. That's all my wardrobe is.
Mhm.
So I really like, and then there's like other stuff, like there's like, I like the stuff that's Star Wars merch that, like I like this shirt a lot, the Bad Batch shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's other shirts that I like where it's like, it doesn't scream, I'm a Star Wars fan.
It doesn't say it's Star Wars in the classic yellow text, and everybody goes, he went to Target and got that one.
One of the most cringe ones, and like I just feel so bad like when I see like a dad wearing it, because you know that it was like a Father's Day gift or something, is when it's like, I am your father on the shirt and it has Darth Vader. I'm just like, oh sweet baby Jesus, you are a brave man wearing that in public.
Hey, we can all agree though that the best Star Wars T-shirt of all time is the Emotions of Darth Vader shirt.
I think my dad has that one.
It's so funny.
I love that
That's
one.
so
That shirt's
funny.
been popping up since like 2012.
Another one that I like is what's the album by the Beatles called? Abbey Road.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like the Beatles.
It's called Abbey Road,
Controversial
and it's
topic,
the
sorry.
stormtroopers walking across the street with Darth Vader
Mhm.
instead of the Beatles walking across the street on the album cover.
Yeah, the Downton Abbey.
Yep. So
Moving on.
That's our clothing bit.
we have a glaze, like a little sprinkle, just of Black Series news today,
Yes.
and it's potentially more exclusives. We
Maybe.
should just omit common wave releases entirely in the Black Series at this point, because exclusives just way outnumber
Mm-hmm.
new releases.
Yeah.
And like new releases for the main line are like side characters. Other than Tech, and Lando,
Yes.
this whole last wave was like supporting or side characters.
Exactly.
Like that's all it was, truthfully.
Mhm.
So, some new DPCIs were found in Target's system. Now, it's not confirmed whether or not these are Target exclusives. They were
Yeah.
just found in Target's system.
Yes, and everybody thought that was the figures that popped up for Target's Collector Con.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Mhm.
So, and then I think they added like another 1 or 2, if I'm right.
Well, 2 of them ended up being 2 of the carbonized figures, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but then there was like another 1 or 2. slipping
One
my
is a
mind.
deluxe
Yes.
release. It's the same pricing as Captain Rex had, the Walmart exclusive one.
Captain Rex actually went down in price.
He
on
did?
Walmart. So yes, my dad was on Walmart.com the other day, and he was looking at looking around at his orders, and Rex's price went down a little bit actually.
Like, how little?
I think he's 30 now.
Well,
That's still ridiculous.
that's better than it was.
Well, that's
Yeah,
better
still
than
better
it
than
was
it was, but
before.
it's still kind of cringe.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing we can do about it, though.
exactly. But then the other thing as well, that today is Saturday, August 31st when we're recording this, 9 a.m.
July 31st.
Oh my gosh, I said the wrong month. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But no. So as of today, yesterday, Yak posted that people have found Captain Rex and the Coruscant Guard Trooper, essentially the wave that's supposed to have the Coruscant Guard and Rampart, and then Rex with Imperial Crosshair at Walmarts in Canada. So the
Quebec.
shipments have hit North America, probably as a whole. So I don't know, maybe they're sitting in a warehouse in the United States. I forget where Walmart's warehouse is, or like the central one.
Mhm.
I can't recall. However, they might be hitting stores a little bit sooner than we thought, which I'm okay with that. Here's the biggest gripe that I'll always have with all of this. If Walmart did not cancel your pre-orders, I would not go hunt at Walmart as much as I do. The only reason I am going to Walmart, and we are going out of our way to get these figures there in the store, is because Walmart has a history of canceling your orders. And I would rather
They do.
the extra work and get the figure if I can than ever risk my order getting canceled. Because if I cancel it, then it'll come back up at a random time and someone else will be able to get the figure that I pre-ordered.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that. But that's the only reason. If it's at Target, then I'm perfectly okay with that. Because Target has come through for me all the time. Same with fan channels. But the other thing as well, Jacob had it up on your phone, sorry. This morning, actually, as of today when we're recording, it was discovered that in the Walmart system in Canada,
EB Games system.
the EB Games, there is another Rex in the system. We don't know why, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
This is coming from Crimson Dawn Collectibles, but the for the description of it, it says Commander Rex.
Clone Commander Rex.
Yeah, which
Which doesn't really make sense because
Doesn't
there's
make sense.
nothing unique about Captain Rex or Commander Rex in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. That's the only time he's called Commander Rex.
Yes. Oh, maybe they're just going to throw him in the galaxy.
Put him in a jetpack. I'd be cool if they gave him a jetpack.
Okay, that would be
Because
neat.
doesn't he have one on the Siege of Mandalore? He has
Yes,
one.
he has a jetpack.
That'd be dope. Finally do a clone with a jetpack.
I'm sorry, but I'd buy it.
I-
But if they-
Absolutely, I would buy it. If he has a jetpack?
Yeah, but that would actually make sense because they haven't done Rex since the black and red packaging. So now we're getting a Rex in a Galaxy packaging for Bad Batch. So why wouldn't you do a Rex in the Clone Wars Galaxy packaging? Granted, it's probably going to be the same exact Rex figure.
Phase 1 Rex.
That's
Phase
what I
1
would
Rex
Phase 1
would
Rex.
be amazing.
That'd be dope.
However,
That would
I
make
don't
me
think it's
happy.
going to happen for a while.
Or it could be Rebels Rex.
that would
Which
also
would be
nice.
awesome.
That would be cool. I would be okay with that.
I think they might, just because they haven't touched the Rebels line since that initial re-release plus Zeb.
I think
Yeah.
they're done with it though. I think that was the whole reason for the re-release with the updated face
Photo reel?
scans. Yeah, is
Well,
that they're
no.
not doing it again.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think they'll do those figures ever again.
Cross
But
my fingers.
I do think that the reason they re-released everybody was because they were doing Zeb.
Yes.
I also
That
think
was
it's because they were also doing updated faces.
A couple other things about like order shipments. If
Mhm.
you guys have pre-ordered the Target exclusive 50th Lucasfilm like Clone Wars wave with like Anakin, Echo, and them through Zavi, those were supposed to deliver yesterday, but they got
Yes.
pushed back to the end of August. So make sure that they're not canceled right now. I do think there's a chance they might get canceled, but
I
they're
hope
not
they don't.
canceled yet. So if you still have your Zavi pre-orders for those figures, I have them. Keep that. And then also, I just looked at my card that I pay for all my stuff with.
Yeah.
And I just got charged again for the 2 carbonized figures I got from Target, the Shore Trooper and the
Serious?
Scout Trooper. They took the money again. They took a charge, which they aren't supposed to show up till May of next year. So I don't
Why?
understand why. And then I just have another like $24 charge on my card, and I don't know what it's for. It's got a hold until August 4th. and I haven't used my card, so I don't know what's going on.
That's
Oh,
ridiculous.
that's
because-
for money, and he's in India right now.
It honestly
Weird
might be the
information.
shipping for my 501st Trooper from Sideshow. That's what I
Probably.
think, because they don't charge you for shipping until it ships.
See, that was a neat thing too. I was upset when Walmart took the money for the Tartakovsky Clone Wars figures because I was like, crap, like I need that. But then they gave me all the money back for it, which I was absolutely okay with because they didn't come out yet, so don't charge me yet. So we're high rolling right now. But the other thing I guess that I wanted to touch on really quick, if you've been also paying attention to Yak, is that Wrecker is hitting Target. So a while ago, Yak posted the DCPI for Wrecker, and I think in the comments sections for a lot of these as well, he reposted it. So just scroll through his page and find it, and call your local Targets to see if they have it. Because the reality is that they're popping up now, and I have a very strong feeling that they will come on August 1st. But by the time this podcast comes up, that'll be too late. So hopefully you know, or hopefully they don't come out that day maybe for you, or they come out earlier and you get them if you really want it, because I'm upset that the pre-orders are taking forever, because if the product is going to be on the shelf, I'm okay with that. The good part too is that the case is literally all Wrecker. It's like 8 Wreckers. So like,
So if you're a
that's a pretty
scalper,
penny to scalp, but like, don't do it.
hey, scalpers, we know you're not watching this podcast.
Pardon.
Don't.
What I meant by a pretty penny by scalping, let me clarify myself really quick, is that would cost you a lot of money to buy all of the Wreckers that are
Go,
in the
just
store.
keep scalping
So
Pokemon
don't do it.
cards. Just keep
Yep.
scalping Pokemon.
Yeah, stay with Pokemon cards.
Stay with Funko and Pokemon.
Keep beating the crap
Stay
out
in
of
your
people
lane.
Yep.
for Pokemon cards.
Yep. Like it's Black Friday every day.
Dude, I really just want to just paint myself blue.
Thrawn?
Where's this coming from?
I don't know. I just was like,
I say we move on
Where's
to the
this
next.
in the script?
Let's move
Where's
on
the-
to the next.
where's that on the teleprompter?
I say we move on.
So Jacob has
I-
a story with everybody's favorite retailer.
has a story about Walmart. So yesterday,
Live
because
better, save less. Walmart. What was
come
that
to our
a saying?
store. Want to kill yourself? Walmart.
Hey, so Jacob, you are a big Lego guy,
Yep. And the whole new series of sets are scheduled to come out tonight at midnight.
and
Because
I'm
it's-
getting the gunship.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am too. I'm literally going to be sitting on Lego.com, Amazon, and Shop Disney.
You want to sit on like an Xbox party tonight?
Sure.
Sweet.
I'll be freaking out. If I don't get it, I'll be so sad. But anyway, so all the new sets are supposed to come out this week, and most retailers are kind of stupid, and they usually throw things on the shelf like early. So I started my hunt by going to Target, and I had an amazing experience at Target because not only were they able to give me a behind-the-scenes scoop of when our Wrecker shipment was coming in, but they also told me that they have all the sets in the back. They're just street dated, so they can't check them out. So I was like, okay.
When is that, like August 2nd?
August 1st.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they'll be on shelves tomorrow. So I'll probably.
And there probably won't be a ton of people
No.
scrambling to get. And they have good stock.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the other thing too, is that the supposed, I mean, obviously Wrecker might come out tomorrow as well, but then the whole new line for our Target, like the Black Series line that just came out with Costco and Tech,
This is
might
good.
also be coming tomorrow. But I have to check. But this is just for our store, so we don't know the procedures for y'all's, so we can't.
But anyway,
That would be nice.
so after Target, I went to the bad Walmart, the one that he had all the issues with, and I went back to the Lego section, and they had all the price tags for all the sets on the shelves. So I was like, okay, either they stocked them and they're all gone, or they have them in the back. So I plucked one of the barcodes off the shelf, and I went over to somebody. I was like, hey, I just want to know if you have these in the back. And they scanned them, and first dude just scanned it and just saw 0 for on shelf. He's just like, nope, buddy, sorry. And it was the same dude that this fellow was dealing with.
It was the whiny
It was
guy.
him?
It was whiny
You didn't
guy.
tell me that.
So fellas,
Oh.
nope, don't have it. And I was like,
You should have let me go. You should have let me go with you.
so I was just like,
I would've-
okay. So I check the electronics area, and I go back there, and there's just this old dude that's like maybe like 75 working there. And then I'm like, hey, can you scan this? I just want to see if you have them in the back. And
Is he
he's
bald?
no,
You have like receding hairline?
no, well maybe a little bit.
No.
But he scans it and he just goes, no, we don't have any in the back. What is it anyway? And I just go, oh, it's just a Lego Star Wars set. And this man just kind of looks at me like he's disgusted, just kind of like. I was like, don't judge me.
What a loser.
I was like, you're 75 and working at
He
Walmart.
doesn't spend his money on bocce.
I was like, so that put an even worse taste in my mouth for that Walmart. I'm like, you're going to judge me because I want to buy something? Screw you. So then I went down to Kohl's. Kohl's had some of the Infinity Saga sets for the new Marvel wave up on shelves, but they had nothing new for Clone Wars or the new Star Wars wave. So I was like, okay, might as well go check the good Walmart. Or so what I thought was the good Walmart. Uh-oh. I drive like halfway across town just to go to this Walmart. I check the shelves, nothing. I have the barcodes on my phone because I took a picture of them at the previous Walmart, and I just wanted to know if they had them on shelves or like in the back. So I go over to electronics, and the guy working electronics is the guitarist of a band I really like. So I was just like, oh, cool, it's you. So I had him scan it, and he's like, I don't work toys. I'll send you over to the outdoor section. There's a manager over there that works specifically with outdoors and toys. I was like, sweet. I walk my happy little self all the way down there, and I wait there for like a minute, and nobody shows up. But they do have one of those like press for assistance buttons. So I press it, and I wait. A good like 3-5 minutes goes by, and like nobody shows up. So I was like, okay, I press it again. Like a minute, 30 seconds later, this short, like 50-year-old woman starts waddling down the center aisle, and like at 50 feet away, she screams at me, "You need to wait!" And I was just like, I know she's not talking to me. And then she finally waddles herself all the way up to me. She's like, "What do you want?" And I was just like, "Oh, I'm just trying to see if you guys have anything in the back for like the new Lego Star Wars sets." She goes, like, she's looking at me like I'm speaking Braille. Like, she's... I was like, it's a toy. It's a Lego Star Wars set. And she goes, "Well, we have a whole thing of freight that says not to open till August 1st. I was like, okay, that might be it. She goes, "But I don't know." I was like, well, I have a barcode here for the sets. If you could scan it to see if that's it in the back. And once again, looking at me like I'm speaking chicken. She's like, I'm like, you work here. It's obvious that you've worked here for a long enough time to be a manager. How do you not know what "I have barcode, please scan" means? So I finally show it to her, and she goes, "Oh." And she whips out her scanner like this. Like all liberally. And then just kind of like scans and goes, "Nope, we don't have any. We should be getting some on the 31st, though. We should get 2. And I was like, "Okay, thank you so much." And she pulls the whiny guy at the previous Walmart and just goes, "Yeah," and walks away. So I left that Walmart very, very upset because I had so much faith in them, and I thought that they were so nice. And then a short lady in her mid-50s yelled at me from 50 feet away that I needed to wait.
So here's where I'm at with Walmart.
Just don't go to Walmart. If you have the option, go to
The
Target.
people at Walmart
Suck.
Hate their job.
You have, yes, they hate their job because management sucks.
Yep.
That's what I've heard from these guys worked at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone I know that works at any Walmart is like, dude, Walmart sucks because upper management sucks.
Yep.
I mean, we work for a big corporation,
Yep.
and upper management sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of how corporations are.
Yep.
But, you know, we have fun with our job, and it all just depends on your attitude. So if we could bring any message with 1313 podcast, not just in Star Wars, but in everyday life,
Mm-hmm.
we would probably say that it's to, you know, have a good attitude about things. You know,
Exactly.
one time, because we're all salesmen at our job,
Mhm.
we all work at the same place. And one time I was selling to this older lady, and she said something that really stuck in my head. She said, "Treat everything you hate as if you love it, and you'll enjoy yourself way more." And I was like, that's a really good, that's some really good life advice. Like,
Mhm.
And then he went on to watch The Last Jedi 3 times until he absolutely loved it.
this was long after I decided to like The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. Don't hate me.
Well, we gain another dislike.
But if you don't like that I like The Last Jedi, we do not care.
We do not care.
We do not care. I like it.
Yeah.
If you don't, I respect it, because a lot of people don't like it, and there's a lot of valid criticism for the movie.
I feel like we should also do... I could talk about it right now, even if you wanted, or maybe wait till another episode if you really want.
For
but
what?
Talk about how the process at Walmart works for when you get an item, like if you're going to use BrickSeek, what you need to look for.
I mean, yeah,
'Cause-
you could tell that story, but I'm probably just gonna leave and make some breakfast while you do that.
Fella, we told you not to have coffee, and you did that.
Oh no, I said make breakfast.
At our house?
Yeah, like in your kitchen.
Oh.
You want sunny side up or scrambled?
Fella, you're not going to make
This
food
fella-
at my
watch me.
house.
I'll be right
We're
back.
out of eggs.
We're out of eggs.
Yes.
So I'll
we
show
just
to
used them
does
yesterday.
Country Fair sell eggs?
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys, anyone watching the podcast, do you guys have Country Fair? Or I think
That's
that's just
facts.
I think that's just our region.
Is that just a
Country Fair
northern
has a
thing?
monopoly.
Is that like a New
gas
England
station.
thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're doxing ourselves.
Yeah. Is that something that only happens in the zip code 425730? I don't know. Zip
Dude,
code.
I thought you were about to drop.
No.
I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Why would I drop our zip code?
Okay.
Yeah, let me just drop my social security at the same time.
So I mean,
We're kind of getting around the mark. I'll wait. I mean, if people like really, really want to hear like how the process works, I can explain it.
let's do a podcast about retailers.
Don't
That'd
we
be-
every time though?
We
Gotta
have.
do.
Kind of.
We kind of always kind of just moan about the North Pole exclusives that are happening, so we might as well be moaning about retailers.
Welcome back to the 1313 podcast, where we talk about how happy we are, the Bad Batch, and the Black series.
Welcome back to
We're
the
trying to.
three grown men cry about
Plastic.
plastic toys
Plastic statues.
weekly.
Weekly. Our weekly statues.
So I think that about wraps up today's episode. What do you
I
guys
agree.
think?
I agree.
So again, thank you everyone for the support on
Mm-hmm.
the last video with Out of the Basement. Huge
Yes.
shout out to Out of the Basement for coming on the podcast and being a
Yes.
part of it. If we have a couple more guests lined up, I'm not going to say
Yes, we
who just yet,
It'll be a surprise.
but in the next few weeks, we're definitely going to have a couple more guests lined up. If anyone that's watching has a suggestion for a guest they want to see us have on the podcast, leave a comment down below and let us know, and we'll get into contact with them, see what we can work out.
Or if you want to be on the show.
If you think you have something that you could really contribute to the show and something that you could really contribute to the Star Wars universe, send us an email.
You don't need to be a Star Wars creator to be a guest on our show. We link our email in the description
Yes.
of
and our
every
link
week.
tree.
Yeah, and our social media. You can shoot us a DM, you can email us. Like, you don't have to be a creator to be on the podcast.
Exactly.
We want to interact with the community.
Maybe you are like really in depth with the 501st Legion. Maybe you like to collect vintage collection and we have no idea why you do that. Maybe you like work like on Star Wars. Maybe you had some piece in making it. Maybe you worked at Star Wars Insider back in the day. If you did something significant with Star Wars and you want to tell a story about it and you want to talk about it, shoot us an email.
Or if you're just a passionate collector like us and you want to just
If you want to rant about Hasbro for 2 hours too,
you just want to shoot the crap
Send
about
us an
Star
email.
Wars with us, that's cool too. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
Here's the thing, too. Have a chat will not be in every week show.
No.
This week we are not having another have a chat because we do have guests lined up, but we're not doing this one this week.
We
because
also
we
have
a vacation.
we also have lives.
yes.
The
so
boys
we
going
can't
on
do it every
vacation.
week.
We don't make we're going on vacation this week with a group of friends.
Yes.
I work 2 jobs
Yes.
and then we're all college students.
I work 2 jobs, but one of them doesn't call me in ever.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah.
The next 2 guests that we have lined up actually go up until the week before we go back to school. So when we all move in the same week essentially. So once we get settled in, we're going to figure out our schedule from there. But
the nice thing about our college is we all go to college within the same area.
yes,
So that makes it easy for us to be able to still record the podcast together.
exactly. So we'll be sure to update you guys when we are going to have a have a chat episode, because we'll post it on social and say that it's going to be upcoming. So just wanted to disclose that as well. And the other thing I want to talk about too before we quickly wrap up is the fact that we are not just a YouTube show. We have audio, because we had some people talking about like, oh, are you guys on Apple Podcasts? Are you on this or that? I'd
We
love to listen to
indeed
you.
are. If you can find podcasts on a platform, you can find us there.
So
Yes.
I
Spotify, Apple
actually
Podcast.
searched us up on iTunes,
Mhm.
and if you just search up 1313 podcast, we are the top of the search.
Yes.
Yep.
We are available. We have a link tree in our YouTube, our Instagram, and our Twitter,
Yes.
which has links to all of the platforms that we're on. Shout out to our host Anchor for that. Anchor
Yes.
is the platform that we use. It's a free platform for making podcasts. It makes it super simple to make podcasts.
It's our distributor, because instead of having to buy a website and buy a distributing service and like some place to host our data, Spotify, who owns Anchor, will just host it on Anchor and then send it out to everybody. So
It's
it makes it as easy as possible. You can record using only your phone if you want to. It's a great way to start making podcasts. If you feel like you want to, you can do it anywhere on the go, right on your phone.
So yeah, so
We're not
again,
sponsored.
thank you so much for all the support, guys.
Thank you
We're
so much.
ecstatic. This is like
Yes.
such a big deal for us.
We cannot thank you enough.
Thank you to the person who disliked.
Yes,
Thank
whoever
you, Justin.
whoever disliked, shouts out to you. I hope your day is going minorly okay today.
Again, shout out of the basement.
Yes.
Their link
Yes.
will be in the description down below.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to give us any feedback, you can feel free to contact us directly or leave a comment.
Just leave a comment. If you want us to not talk about something and you find it really annoying and it irks you, if we see enough people talking about it, we'll stop talking about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
want to know what you guys want to hear and what you guys want to see out of us.
And this has been the
Got it.
most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe.
The 1313 Podcast.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Tommy.
all right, everyone. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Good soldiers follow orders. Good soldiers follow orders.